Okay, here is the tutorial video for how I make these paper roses. Starting off with supplies, I use cardstock and I have used cheaper watercolor paper. I used to use tape, but it hasn't lasted through the years and they've fallen apart, so I recommend glue. And then you're going to need a surface to pour your glue on and a tool to apply the glue with. For regular size roses, I cut my paper into 1/2 inch strips. And then for the smaller ones you saw on the mask, it's 1/4 inch. And then you tear it in half long ways. So to start off, you're going to fold it like this. This is going to be hard for me to explain, so I'm going to try my best. After that, you fold it kind of in the same way, just down lower. Then you go up to the top and fold it backwards. So this is going to start the spiral of the rose. And at this point, you start folding it in. I like to kind of squish it so it's a little bit more circular. Then you bend it backwards again and keep kind of rolling it in around the inner circle. So you just keep folding it backwards over itself and rolling it. At this point, it's easier to put your thumb kind of on top of it. This is the glue I use. Honestly, I've tried a lot of glues and this is the best one I've found. So you're going to apply the glue with whatever tool you use. I use a silicone sculpting tool to the bottom of the flap that's kind of sticking out. Then you want to apply pressure to that while you put glue around the inner circle on the back of it. Around what I would call the stem, you really want to get the glue in there so that it doesn't spring apart. This is the issue with tape. It can't really hold that together. However, if glue is a little bit difficult to wherever you're working, tape does work. Just try to use a sticky one rather than the green variety of Scotch tape, because that won't hold it together. These are the first ones I made. I did this in 7th grade. As you can see, I didn't use the greatest tape and it's kind of falling apart. I've gotten rid of the ones that completely fell apart, so I've gotten better over the years. Those ones kind of stuck out a little bit and didn't really look like roses. So here's what I do to make the smaller variety. I rip that 1/4 inch paper in half first. Then it's basically the same steps you follow for the larger one. It's just a little bit more tedious because it's smaller and more difficult to handle. I use these roses for tons of different things, mostly gifts to friends. I've glued them to paper bags that I put the gifts in or used them like confetti inside the bags. Or as you saw in the beginning, I made that mask using them. So here's a bit of an extra step if you want it to look extra proper or put together. This is normal printer paper. It is not cardstock. This will not work if you try to use the same cardstock, unfortunately. So you take the flower how we made it before and cut your printer paper into squares, and then add those little notches in the corners like I showed before. I just cut them with scissors. Then cover it in glue and put it on the back of the rose, and push down on the 2 parallel flaps rather than the entire thing at once, and push down and make sure that those are completely glued to it first, and then put down the other flaps on top of them. It's not going to be a complete square. I recommend doing this after the actual rose has dried completely. I'm just not following my own advice for the sake of speed right now. And then it'll make the back look a little bit more smooth rather than having that piece sticking out. Anyways, thank you for watching. Subscribe. Hi, Oz.